Hello. We're celebrating our brothers, husbands, uncles, and dads this Father's Day, and a local collaborative is making sure dads are connected to the support and resources that help them create great families. Leaders of the collaborative are here to share how loving dads stay engaged. And if dad likes jazz, we know just the place for him. MCG Jazz is unveiling its 2025-26 concert season. We'll detail the major star power coming to the north side. Plus, speaking of star power, an international filmmaker, photographer, and artist is here. We'll tell you who he is and the major announcement that's bringing him to Pittsburgh. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, the Director of Community Impact at KDKA+, and the host of Intersections. Celebrating Dad, that's what's happening all around Western Pennsylvania and the country for Father's Day. So there's an organization that serves as a collective for groups focused on fathers, their roles, support, and value. It's called the Fathers Collaborative Council of Western PA. And joining us today are Art Terry. He is the president of the Fathers Collaborative Council of Western PA. Also, Dr. Wendy Etheridge-Smith. She is the director of Early Childhood, Family, and Community Services at the Allegheny Intermediate Unit. Thank you both so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So Art, let's start with you. Kind of explain what the collaborative is and why it's in existence.
The collaborative is actually a network. What we are a network of individuals who are like-minded, serve a similar purpose, who have agreed to come together to establish a collaborative effort with the hopes of developing collective impact.
Mm-hmm. So there are all of these organizations that are part of the collaborative. What are some of these organizations and what do they represent within the collaborative?
What the organizations are and what they represent is a number of different entities here in this city that all come together to provide father-focused services in the interest of furthering child well-being. The list actually varies from time to time depending upon what we may actually be doing. And primarily we are composed of a system that allows these organizations to come together and collaborate in 5 different committees, so to speak. There's of course a strategic planning committee, an advocacy committee, education, events, and resources. Resources are very important in being able to develop the opportunity for fathers to better themselves.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Smith, what was happening here locally with dads that said they need something more?
Well, what we recognize is that there's a lot of disconnection and a lot of a lack of focus. Too often, especially when we're talking about different human services and even in education, people get a vision of, when they think about a single parent and they see a single mother with kids, and then they don't think about, even though there's a single mother, there is a father. And that the research is clear that for the well-being of that child, the closer they are with the father, the more important and better it is for their overall development.
Yeah. So you're with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit. What does AIU do within this collaborative?
Well, we are blessed to receive a significant amount of not significant, but funding from the state to sort of oversee some of the home visiting programs that are specifically for fathers in Allegheny County. And all along, since the Fathers Collaborative Council of Western Pennsylvania started in 2009, we've been at the table understanding that when fathers are involved and the children are closer, we see better academic outcomes. We see better behavioral adjustment. We're talking about twice as likely to go to college or have a stable employment after graduating. 75% less likely to have teen births, 80% less likely to go to jail. So that's why the AIU has been at the table from the inception in 2009.
Yeah, and then Art, you're with Healthy Start?
I am indeed.
Yeah, so that also brings in the dads. Kind of tell us a little bit about how that, or what your role is.
Well, I'm the fatherhood coordinator at Healthy Start Incorporated here in Pittsburgh, one of the original demonstration projects in 1991 that has been in operation for 34 years. The second year of our operation, we were blessed with a grant to begin fatherhood services. So it's been a long-standing initiative at Healthy Start. The reason why it's important is because right at this present time, we are in the midst of an infant and maternal mortality crisis here in the city. It's a fact here that black babies die at a rate 5 times greater than white ones here before the age of 1. It's also a fact here that black women are more than twice as likely to deliver a preterm baby as well as a low birth weight baby. And the fact of the matter really is that black mothers die from pregnancy and childbirth complications here in this city at a rate higher than 97% of similar sized cities. So that's why Healthy Start is at the table with this. We understand the impact and value that fathers can bring in establishing good practices throughout the pregnancy and perinatal process to ensure better birth outcomes and thereby those better outcomes that Dr. Wendy just referenced.
Yeah. One of the other things that we talked about is this is about advocacy for these dads. Tell me, why is that advocacy necessary?
Well, just look at the landscape that we are engaged in right now. It's very important as funds may potentially become more and more limited or more and more directed, that we are able to establish the fact that money spent on establishing and impacting positively the welfare of a child is going to be money well spent. And as long as we can establish the value, the inherent value that fathers bring to the table in that process, we'll always be able to promote father services in the interest of child well-being in a positive way.
Yeah. Now, we're almost out of time, but we're going to make sure that people know where you are, how to contact you, and so we have some information on the screen. So how can people reach out and learn more about the collaborative?
Absolutely. We are available we have a website, and I believe they can see that on the screen as well, and a QR code. And we are excited to have people join us because we believe that we have the cure. Our purposes are community engagement, unified advocacy, resource sharing, and enhanced collaboration. So if that sounds exciting and you want to be part of the cure, use that QR code.
Okay, sounds
Our meetings
good.
are every fourth Tuesday of the month from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Allegheny Intermediate Unit.
All right, perfect. Thank you both so much for coming. We appreciate it, and thank you for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, if you love jazz music, Pittsburgh has plenty of upcoming performances to keep your toes tapping. Intersections will be right back. Well, MCG Jazz is marking its 39th annual jazz concert season, and the theme this year is Friends and Family. You'll want to gather the friends and family to see some of the performers lined up for the 2025-26 shows, which includes a homecoming for one well-known Pittsburgh performer from Homestead. Here to share the season's lineup is Marty Ashby. He is the executive producer and vice president of MCG Jazz. Thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, my pleasure, Lisa. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So 39 seasons, that's a long time.
Yes, it is.
What's been the key to longevity?
Well, I think presenting great music.
Yeah.
You know, when someone I'm sure you know, Bill Strickland, and I started the program now 39 years ago, all we wanted to do is present the greatest musicians in a dignified environment and have the community be able to come and enjoy that music. So from Herbie Hancock to Dizzy Gillespie to Nancy Wilson, they've all been there, and it's been an honor to be with them and to present them to the Pittsburgh community, which has such an amazing history for jazz anyways.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you talk about friends and family as the theme this year, what are you hoping that kind of emulates for people who come?
Well, specifically this season is friends and family because all the artists are friends and family. These artists have been with us many times. About half of them we've made recordings with. A couple of them we've won Grammys with Paquito and the New York Voices and whatnot. And so the idea is to celebrate the MCG family of artists we've worked with and bring your family to come and celebrate with us.
Yeah. So the one thing that's really interesting and exciting about this season is you have an artist in residency. And this one is somebody people around here are maybe familiar with.
I would hope.
Tell me about her.
Well, our artist in residence this year is Tamara Tooney.
Yes.
Who everybody knows from, Law and Order and her Broadway show with Lena Horne, and now the show here on CBS that we all know, Beyond the Gates. She's an amazing actress, producer, writer, but also a stunning singer. So she's going to be with us working with our students. Our artist last year was Ray Angry, the great pianist with the Roots. He was with us all year. We had so much fun with him, and she'll be with us throughout the entire year, working with our students and working with a variety of community organizations, and we're excited to have her be part of the family.
Yes, and she has a concert coming up at the end that's going to be on May 26th.
That's correct.
Of next year.
And it's going to be all new music, all new arrangements. In fact, but we're working on a new record with her as well. So, but you can't tell anybody.
Okay, no one will know. All right, so let's talk about some of the other people who are going to be here this year. You also have Kurt Elling, who we also saw a video of, and he is going to be with the Pittsburgh Jazz Orchestra in September. Tell us about Kurt.
Well, Kurt is one of the most amazing vocalists ever. And we've done, again, several projects with him. And the Pittsburgh Jazz Orchestra is Pittsburgh's own jazz orchestra.
Yeah.
And to come together with that, we'll be playing music from Kurt's new record, which is a big band jazz orchestra record. So it'll be fun to premiere that here in Pittsburgh.
Very nice, very nice. Mindy Abair, she's a wonderful saxophonist.
Oh, she's just fun. And Mindy's got great energy, and her band is always really, really just fun. And if you want to just come and have a good time, come and see Mindy, for sure. Yeah.
And you can see her in November.
Correct.
Okay, we also have, at Christmas time, Take 6.
Well, Take 6 is one of my favorite vocal groups. I'll never forget a quick short story. It was Steelers Sunday of the Super Bowl, and we had an afternoon matinee of all things, and they came out on stage with the terrible towels.
Oh, wow.
So it was like a pre-game, preheat before the Super Bowl, and they're just wonderful people, and they've been with us so many times and are always top-notch.
Yeah, terrible towels go over well here. Bob James, love Bob James.
Well, Bob, you know, he's almost 80. And he is one of the most prolific composers, arrangers. He's been to the Guild 5 times with different projects. He brought musicians from Shanghai. He's done duo there. He's done foreplay there. So he's coming with his quartet. Yeah. And he's kind of, you know, smooth jazz. People know him from the Taxi theme song and all that. But he's a consummate pianist, and he's just such a nice guy, too.
Right, right. And that's January.
It is January, yeah.
And one of those shows is already sold out, I think.
Yes, it is. But we may add another.
Oh. I love this. This is great. Okay, New York Voices. That's where those Grammys came in for you guys.
Yeah, the New York Voices, this is actually their farewell tour.
Yes.
They've been together for almost 40 years, and they want to end at the top. And we've had them on several recordings. 2 of the recordings have won Grammys. And Paquito de Rivera, the great jazz musician from Cuba, will be with them. And if you want to see the Voices live, now's your time to do it.
Yeah, and then we have a screen that shows all of the performers. That was only a sample.
Oh, yeah.
This is everybody that you guys have coming for this season. How fun is this?
I pinch myself every day, Lisa. I mean, to be honest, having done this now for 39 years, I've seen all my idols. I've been able to make recordings with so many of my idols. We've had these artists like Dizzy Gillespie work with kids in the community. We've produced the video, a PBS special about jazz in Pittsburgh. So I still pinch myself every day, and I'm thrilled to bring these amazing musicians to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, if people want to get some more information, they can go to mcgjazz.org.
That's correct.
And yeah, lots of those tickets are some hot items. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Well, coming up, a special surprise announcement, as if you didn't already get a surprise, but more surprises for this year's Fashion Africana Gala. Don't miss the reveal. Intersections will be right back. Fashion Africana's Africanism Gala has become an unofficial kickoff to the fall holidays, and this year marks the 3rd consecutive year for the event, which celebrates fashion, art, and African culture. So if you have never been, or if you have been, each year you know is different, and this year will not disappoint. Joining us now is Demetria Botella. She is the founder and executive director of Fashion Africana. Also joining us all the way from London, Simon Frederick. He is a filmmaker, photographer, and artist. And thank you both so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So I know, Demetria, this is the first we're hearing about this year's Fashion Africana Gala, and you've got a special surprise, I guess, to kind of unveil. It may have to do with the fact that Simon's sitting right here. But tell us a little bit about what is the big plan, the big reveal for this year's event.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Lisa, for your continued support of the gala. And we're just thrilled to announce that this year's gala, Africanism Gala, will be held on November the 8th at Heinz Hall with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, and it will feature award-winning photographer, filmmaker, and visual artist Simon Frederick from London. And we're just thrilled to have him here. Yeah, and he's here this week to work with the orchestra, and we're just really, really excited to feature his work right here in our city.
That's great. Simon, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell us about some of the work that you've done. I know people may be familiar with Black is the New Black, and I started watching, is it Outsiders?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. So tell us about the work that you do.
So I'm a filmmaker. I'm also a photographer. I call myself a visual artist because, unlike most filmmakers, I tend to want to create art that goes on to different channels, and television's being one of those. But my specialism is telling the stories of Black people. I feel that it's my calling in life is to tell our stories and to do so in a way that uplifts us.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And I read somewhere that you're self-taught.
That's right.
So how did that happen for you?
Lord alone knows. I think it was just divine intervention by God and the ancestors, really, because from a young age, it wasn't something that I ever dreamed of doing. It happened by accident. It was some friends back, God, when was it? The early 90s. Yes, I'm a lot older than I look. They were having their last ever concert in London at the Jazz Cafe, and I took a very small camera with me to take pictures. And I got a call from them the next day saying that a big newspaper in England, a national daily newspaper, wanted photographs and they didn't have a photographer. I sent them the pictures. They printed the pictures in the newspaper. And 2 weeks later, the picture editor of that newspaper called me and offered me £1,000 to photograph Erykah Badu in concert.
Wow.
And that's how my career started.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing. So speaking of amazing, you are here and you're working with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. Have you done anything like that before, where you're collaborating with the music now and the visual art?
So this is my first time in Pittsburgh. It's my first time working with an orchestra. So no, I've never done this before. I mean, obviously in my films, we work with musicians and things like this, but to work with an orchestra in this way, no, this is beyond my wildest dreams, actually.
Yeah. I know that you had some visual art that was in March.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about this project.
Okay, all right. It's a project that's very dear to me. My mother, my late mother, my late grandmother are really big influences in my life. And being a documentarian, which is, I'm a documentary filmmaker, I realized that the stories of Black women had always seemed to be written out of history. And that bothered me. And as I kept creating more work, that seemed to bother me even more. And I had to, I've had really great mentors in this industry. And they've always said to me, we are the change that we need to see. So as a storyteller, it's up to me to redress the things that are missing within our stories. And I felt that I needed to create a piece that honored Black women, that honored dark-skinned Black women as the original women on this planet. Because all of us, no matter who we are, what ethnicity we are, what religions we are, where we come from, what languages we speak, we are all derived from that original Black woman who was born on this planet millions of years ago. We are all her descendants. And I wanted to create a piece that honored that. So I call the piece The Unspoken Stillness of Elegance, and it is my love letter to Black women.
Yeah. And then you also have a feature film coming out.
I do.
I know it's early, it's not quite.
Yeah, can't really talk much about that here. I'm sure when the time comes to speak about that, we will talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I wrote it. I'm going to direct it. It's been picked up by a production company called Unbound Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, we will be making this.
So just lots of excitement here. So Demetria, we're almost out of time. But, what should people expect this year? Because it's definitely going to be different.
Yes, well, I mean, just the collaboration and the celebration of Simon's work. And as you can see, what his work is about, it's so aligned with the mission of Fashion Africana around broadening the standard of beauty. My co-producer, Sandra Sotario, because of, once she learned more about the mission behind our work and what we're doing, it was her who made that connection to Simon. And so we're just really honored and thrilled to have you here to partner with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. And so folks are going to, you know how we do, Lisa. We always try to, give something a little bit different each year.
Yes.
And so we're really excited that this will be a different celebration of who we are. And the title of the gala this year is A Love Letter to Black Women.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you'll be back because we're going to keep talking about it as we get closer. But thank you both so much for being with us today, kind of kicking things off, and looking forward to November.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I'll have my last word when we come back.
Bayard Rustin was an American political activist and prominent leader in social movements from the 1940s to the 80s. He worked closely with civil rights leaders and was the principal organizer of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. But because he was openly gay, Rustin often had to work behind the scenes due to criticism over his sexuality. He later turned his attention to international humanitarian missions and gay rights until his death in 1987.
Dads, they are irreplaceable, vital, important to childhood development. Dads are primary members of the family ecosystem of nurturers, consolers, encouragers, and teachers. Whether a father or father figure, dads are important members of the village that children need to grow and mature. Their voices are empowering, and they create a steady foundation that is needed to uphold many generations to come. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.